Bandwidth for First Updates Now is supported by AndyMark. Are you competition ready? Go to andymark.com and keep your team inspired. And by the Blue Alliance. Keep up to date on all live and archived First Robotics events and team stats at thebluealliance.com. First Updates Now is brought to you by viewers like you. Fun relies on the generous support of our fans in order to continue to keep creating content. Please consider donating, giving bits, or subscribing. Subscribe for a few bucks a month or for free through Twitch Prime. And don't forget that our subscribers get 5x chance to win on all giveaways.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment of Best of the West. Even with only 3 events in the West this week, all eyes turned to the better half of the country as some of the heavyweights of FRC battled it out in Flagstaff, San Diego, and Wilsonville. Plenty of scale battles and some sweet partner climbs really helped ratchet up the action in Week 2. Tonight we're going to cover everything that went down this weekend and look forward to next week's matchups. Reporting for First Updates Now, I'm Clint Ott.
I'm Andrew Lawrence.
And I'm Aiden Ferrer.
All right, guys, so Week 1's in the books. Week 2 is now in the books. Let's get it started with our Week 2 recap, starting off up in the Pacific Northwest with Wilsonville. Over a dozen teams playing for the second time at Wilsonville. We expected play to elevate quickly over Week 1. That, along with the addition of some of the PNW heavy hitters like 1425, 2741, and 4488, Wilsonville was sure to be a great event. Working through the quals, Code 0, 1425, rose through the ranks by leveraging a consistent auto to get that auto run RP and great partner climbing. They finished the event as the top seed with a 3.08 ranking score. With their first pick, they grabbed fellow partner climber 2471 Team Mean Machine, who had that sweet reveal video of their robot Atlas. They picked up 1359, the Scalawags. And with those two, they marched through the quarterfinals in 2 matches, dominating the scale with all but 24 seconds of ownership in teleop. The semifinals were a little bit closer after the number 5 alliance was able to steal some of that scale ownership, but their steady partner climbing game carried the top seed alliance into the finals, where they faced the number 2 alliance of 957 Swarm, 2990 Hotwire, and 3024 My Favorite Team. Just side note, they're not necessarily my favorite team. The second alliance gave them a run for their money in the second finals match. After being down 220 to 100 with only a minute left in the match, the top-seeded alliance kept their heads, tipped the scale, took their opponent's switch, and finished off an unblemished elims run with a comeback victory at 297 to 269. Congrats to 3024, my favorite team, on the District Chairman's Award, and 568 Nerds of the North on the District EI.
Okay, it was an all-out war in Southern California this weekend, and if you've never been down to the southern tip of the West Coast, I suggest you take a trip and see it for yourself. It was discovered by Germans in 1904. They named it San Diego Regional, which of course in German means a star-studded 66-team brawl, which is exactly what this event was. In the regional, the extra ranking points were king, and consistently getting that 3rd and potentially 4th RP was at times more valuable than winning matches. Most of the top-seeded teams went 6-2 in qualification rounds, with 1538 the only undefeated team throughout the entire event, ranking 7th. Longtime player but first-time powerhouse 2659, the Robo Warriors, clinched the number 1 seed with 20 RP, which coupled with their 6-2 qualification streak, meant that only 60% of their ranking points were actually from winning matches. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one in the game of first power-up. They picked up the aforementioned undefeated Holy Cows as their first pick, and somehow ended the alliance selections taking on Hall of Fame team 597, who managed to 973 at 2014 Chessie Champs their way through the draft and somehow slipped through the cracks of every other alliance's pick list, despite having some pretty well-played qualification rounds. It was a hard-fought elimination bracket with some pretty competitive scores, including a 619-point win from the Blue Alliance in quarterfinals 2, match number 2, as a result of 205 penalty points. Elims flew by with a fine pair of finals matches, with our number 1 seeded alliance taking home the gold, the first win for the Robo Warriors since 2009. first regional win for 597, and the first time 1538 sees victory on their home turf. Not only was it a successful pair of matches for the winning Alliance, but due to the double Hall of Fame and auto wildcard, every member of the finalist alliance of 3128, 2102, and 3882 all received an invite to their local championship event as well. After all was said and done with those matches, the award ceremony drew more attention than most robot rounds, with a diverse coverage of deserving teams and an exciting determination of who best wooed the judges. While there were many awards we could cover, as I mentioned last week, one of the star statistics of this event was its aggregate of consistent and competitive Chairman's Award winning teams. While each of these teams are all deserving of first highest honors, it was hometown hero 2485 the Warlords who took home the much coveted accolade. Alongside that, other San Diego area team 1622 was awarded the Engineering Inspiration Award, which when coupled with Holy Cow's win made for a pretty good weekend for San Diego teams at the San Diego Regional.
Whew. And moving into our last event, need a breather there, Andrew. Moving into our last event out in Arizona, we got the Arizona North Regional Recap. So these regional pools are getting deeper and deeper as Arizona North saw 60 teams looking to be the best of the West. Arizona North turned out to be quite the slugfest to really nobody's surprise. There were so many great teams in attendance. Team 254, the Cheesy Poofs, took the first seed undefeated with a ranking score of 3.44. Following up in second was 2122 Team Taters from Idaho, and in third was 2486 Coconuts, each with a ranking score of 2.66. Instead of teaming up, however, each of these superfoods went on to make their own alliances, with the Cheesy Poofs picking up the fourth seed of 842 Falcon Robotics from Phoenix, as well as 2403 Plasma Robotics from Mesa, Arizona. Team Taters opted for the fifth seed of 1011 Crush from Tucson and 2073 out of Elk Grove, California, while 2486 the Coconuts went for 987 the High Rollers out of Las Vegas and 5059 the Midnight Cicadas from Globe, Arizona. While the number one alliance swept through the elimination rounds, pushing their opponents to mere double-digit scores, the second-seeded alliance may have had the most struggle getting through elims, taking their quarterfinals and semifinals sets to 3 matches and calling in 4603. I'm gonna mess up this name for sure. Leones Frances from Mexico as a backup.
Nailed it.
Pretty good.
In the end, the Poofs mashed the Taters with the scores of 550 to 152 and 594 to 220. Yeah, you like that one?
That is terrible.
It's too good.
Well, thankfully, this event saw a lot of potential wildcards with 254 and 842's Hall of Fame status and the automatic qualification generating a wildcard each, in addition to the one wildcard already created by the event. Furthermore, 1011's championship win already had them listed for Houston, distributing the 3 wildcards across their alliance partners and their backup. Joining the entire finals roster at Champs will be rookie all-star winners 69-68 Team Pie from the Netherlands, Engineering Inspiration winners 2486 Coconuts, and sliding into the chairman's spot was 6314 DM Robotics out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Did you just make a sliding into your DMs?
I absolutely did. Gosh,
with the puns.
This clip on stream that we got right here. So we've got the finals 1 match right now. We got 4603 looks like riding on the Red Alliance. That's I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but yeah, 842 struggling to get him off. But 254 trying to butt in there.
I think that Blue Alliance was trying to pull out all the stops. I mean, when you're going up against Cheesy Poofs and Falcon, it was an uphill battle for sure. And I think the only chance they had was to literally climb on the backs of their opponents.
Well, I mean, as we're going into week 2, we're seeing developing defenses, but I don't think that's going to be the meta going forward.
I'm confused. Was that not the partner climb?
Can't do a partner climb with opposing alliance.
That's the cooperation climb.
Right, that's how you get that coveted fifth RP.
I mean, we're playing 2015 all over again, right? Yeah, new meta defense right there. All
right, guys. So week 2 in the books in the West. New this week on all the region recap shows, we've got a list of the top 10 teams from the West per the FRC Top 25 poll. I've got a few guesses as to who might make the cut. Who do you guys think it might be?
254.
Oh, shut up.
254.
Duh.
Just waiting. I'm just waiting for chat to start flaming up with like, "Oh, Poofs are gonna make it. Poofs are gonna be number one." Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give you guys some hints here. 6 of the 10 in the West were at Arizona North. 1 was from Pacific Northwest. 2 were from San Diego, and 1 was from somewhere in Texas. So, or they were competing somewhere in Texas, I should say. If they snuck in.
They were. Do not know who this team is.
Yeah. All right. So I'll go ahead and start it off here at number 10. 2659, the Robo Warriors were competing in San Diego this week. 2471, Team Mean Machine up in Wilsonville. 1836, the Milken Knights. 1011, Crush. 987, the High Rollers. 842, Falcon Robotics. 1619, Upper Creek Robotics. 2122, the Taters. 1538, the Holy Cows. And I think somewhat obviously 254, the Cheesy Poofs. So a lot of these teams obviously have the name recognition, but what else are they all doing to keep on top this year and keep their power-up game strong?
Apparently, I'll go into Arizona North, given these votings. Jeez, man. I mean, we saw some awesome performance from the Arizona North teams. I mean, Cheesy Poofs, Team Taters, Falcon Robotics, and Crush. That's 4 teams on the top 2 alliances right there. So they're performing pretty well at such a powerful event.
Well, I mean, there's some confirmation and viewership bias there as well, right? You're going to have more votes on teams that went to the higher capacity and bigger name events. Everyone was watching Arizona North. Everyone was watching, Hub City, San Diego for sure. And you have a lot of other events maybe didn't get as much coverage. I'm sure there's robots just as good there that maybe didn't make this list, but just because, they weren't the big name events, did not get as much votes.
Yeah, I'm surprised not to see 1425 on there. They competed up at the Wilsonville event. Obviously, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say I'm surprised. I wish I would have seen them on the list. Great team, great event. But yeah, I mean, you look at this list, it's your classic FRC top 25. Kind of big names make the cut even when some other people probably should have.
Big names make the cut even when they're not playing.
I am glad, though, that 1836 Milken Knights made it onto this list, though, because they had some really stellar plays. And, I mean, I personally don't think of them as, like, the 254 kind of name brand vote. Like, I don't think people flood the votes with 1836 as their number one. They're a fantastic team, but, like, they're making it to the top 10, which is great. And they made it to quarterfinals, I believe, was when they got knocked out by number 2 Alliance, it was. I don't actually remember how that played out, but they had some pretty good game sense. So I'm glad they're on here. There's a lot of aggression coming out of that team and some really good plays. So
they were definitely like the second best switch and exchange bot at Arizona North, and they didn't have their performance right up to par as they had in previous practice matches. In practice, they were on fire. In their videos they've been uploading to Chief, they were on fire. It's just had a little bit of trouble at the event, but definitely capable, very capable team. I'm excited for their next event.
Yeah, they might not have won Arizona North, but they certainly won the hearts of Chief Delphi.
No, maybe.
There's a few threads about him up there. But, yeah, so where do we go from here, Clint?
All right, so, we've been watching 2 weeks of the event. Sorry, I had some in my eye. Been watching 2 weeks of Power Up. And we're starting to see some of those scales and stuff fill up. We thought it might take a little bit longer, maybe week 4, week 5, we'd start to see that happen. But how do you guys see kind of the meta of the game changing here as we move forward into week 3?
So for me, the big thing is seeing how well utilized the cubes on the field are being used, for lack of a better term. There's a limited amount of cubes this year. I think from day one, it's pretty obvious that at some point in the season, be it, week 5, week 6, district champs, IRI, we'll see some kind of cube starvation tactics. We'll see points where cubes are put in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's not enough cubes on the field to use. I didn't expect that to come so early. It was week 2 this past week, and I was watching matches where I was like, wow, they're running out of cubes. We have scales full. We have switches full. It's to the point where if you're putting another cube in the scale, it's just going to fall off. I was not expecting that, and I think that's what definitely took me for a whirl this weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot of cubes being used and played, and things are getting pretty full in week 2. Also, I know one of the gripes I had with week 1 was the amount of fouls and how they're being distributed. They're seeming less common. I think people are recognizing the common mistakes that are going to get you dinged, but some things still aren't being called. I saw a few plays at Arizona North where, scales being pulled down a bit. Refs aren't calling that. They got a little too lax of that. Switch fence, road cubes, still kind of an issue, but things are getting better. It looks like fouls are being reasonably called more and more, and there's less of them. So whether that's refs being less strict or teams being smarter about how they play, I'm happy either way. I want to see more clean matches, and if that's we need to tone down on some things, I'm okay with that. Gameplay is looking a lot smoother. There's also a bit more aggression now. People are really trying to play in the back lines or the front lines, depending on your perspective. But things are getting real heated out there. There's a lot of shoving, pushing for those cubes. As Andrew said, resources getting low, so people got to fight over them now. It turns into an all-out brawl at some point. So strategy is fleshing out a bit more as we go into week 2, which is nice.
Yeah, after watching kind of the what do we call it? Game Day Live with Mason and Karthik. Sorry, I'm not super familiar on all of our first updates now branding. Mason said it. He was talking about, when you're going up against 2 really great scale bots and you really don't have a good shot, it just totally outpacing them on this scale. You got to do something different. You got to play the opponent's switch, play some defense. And I think we're starting to see a little bit more of that as we go on here. And I think in the coming couple of weeks, as we see some really high capable scale robots come out, we'll start to see some of the lower alliances kind of implement some of those different strategies. So I'm really excited to see how the strategies flesh out here, especially, as our teams go on to compete in later weeks. Keeping an eye out on all the streams is going to be pretty important. All right, so that's enough talking about the strategy meta. Let's go ahead and dive into some of the events we're going to see here in the West in week 3.
All right, so we got 2 PNW district events and 3 regionals. We're going to start off with the Canadian Pacific Regional, taking place in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. 32 teams will duke it out just above the border for USA and Canada. Teams 1241, Theory 6, and 4334 Alberta Tech Alliance are favorites going into this event. But with 13 rookies and 9 second-year teams seeking to get their names out there, this event is really going to highlight the newcomers when it comes to first in Canada. But also, we've got some people coming in from California. From Mountain View, we've got 1868, the Space Cookies, who had an incredibly successful 2017 season and are looking to keep up their momentum. From San Jose, we'll also be seeing 2643 Dark Matter. Personally, I've been hearing a lot of interesting things about their robot. It's really ambitious compared to years past. They're really pushing themselves this year, so I'm quite excited to see what they've got in store. I can already see 1241, 1868, and 4334 taking the top 3 seeds, but the rest of the alliances are really just a toss-up at this point. Space Cookies might also be a shoe-in for chairmans with 6 wins since 2011, but I'm sure there's also a lot of other teams gunning for the banner as well, like 2017 Rookie All-Stars, 6390 Hephaestus. So if you're looking for an event where anything can happen, this would be the one to watch.
Yeah, with that, excuse me. That event is also starting tomorrow, right? It's running Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think today was load-in.
All right, so we'll get to some of our midweek action here in North America, which is always nice. All right, so we've got 2 PNW district events this weekend, Sundome and Auburn. The Sundome district event is in Yakima, Washington. It's missing some of the household names of the Pacific Northwest, but there's definitely some teams to look out for. Several teams have already played their first event, including standout 1318, who ranked 4th at Mount Vernon and played very well in 11. With a couple weeks under their belt for tuning, I expect they'll come out guns blazing at Sundome. 2811 is another team coming back after a great week 1 run. They made it to the finals at Clackamas, or Clackams, as I'm sure their words say, with their scale game. If they can speed it up a little bit, especially on the intake side of things, I expect them to be one of the top spots this weekend. At Auburn, just about 140 miles northeast of Yakima, this event will be going down after 568 found success on the off the field last week with the District EI Award. They'll need to step up their game if they want to add some on-field hardware. In the district system, you can qualify for the district championship, without your robot, getting that EI award. But if they want to be playing at DCMP, they'll need to be stepping up their game for sure. 488, 2046, 2605, and 5803 have all had strong showings this year already. In order to continue their success in the 2018 season, though, they'll have to go up against PNW powerhouse Skunkworks as they hit the field for the first time of 3 consecutive weeks of competitions, 4 if they can qualify for DCMP.
3 consecutive weeks, jeez.
Yeah, they're crazy.
That's brutal.
They got to be insane.
That's some 125 stuff right there. They're too good. But going a little bit south of where you are, quite a bit south actually, I'd say quite a few California events are shifting their venues this year, most notably being the longtime LA Regional, which has moved from the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach to the Fairplex over in Pomona. While it's convenient for first alumni at the other Cal Poly, the change of venue sure is going to make things difficult for this large group of central LA-based teams who now need to travel a little bit further than home. Excuse me one moment.
Getting a little bit loud in the back.
Students love making sound. Sorry. So it's going to make things difficult for the teams who have to travel a little further than home for their home event. On the bright side, the Fairplex will definitely provide a fresh new atmosphere for teams to compete in, and you really can't get fresher than the fresh barbecue burgers at Chuck Wagon concession stand in the Fairplex Fairgrounds. Customers rave over their pulled pork and baby back ribs, and for those of you not too keen on eating meat, they also have bread that you can put on lettuce and mayonnaise for a crunchy, delightful treat. Speaking of treats, this upcoming weekend is going to give the world the treat of seeing its favorite California teams all competing. That's right, for the first time in the 2018 FRC season, we have not 1 but 2 California events playing the same weekend. Aiden's got a lot to say about what's going to happen up north, so let me fill you in on what's going to be going down in sunny Southern California. We've got a few fan favorites looking to boast their bots for the first time this season, most notably 330 the Beach Bots, 696 the Circuit Breakers, 2493 Robocong, 5802 Los Dementores, 5818 Riviera Robotics, and rookie team 7042 Poly Robotics among the crowd. All in all, it's going to be a fun event down in Pomona with lots of action focused on getting this extra match RP as we saw in the San Diego last weekend. Several teams are preparing the cheese code auto routines for alliance partners should they be willing to accept it, and lots of robots are sporting a pair of double ramps trying to push for that camp and ramp triple climb strategy. I'm expecting to see a fair number of 4 RP matches should everyone find their momentum and get into the flow of competition. Aiden, what should we expect up in the Bay?
All right. Well, out in the sleepy Sunset District, San Francisco will be seeing its 2nd regional ever this weekend. The SF Regional holds a special place in my heart, both for taking place in my hometown and being the only regional I've attended that actually ran on schedule. 43 teams will be battling for the Bay this year, slightly larger than last year's event, and wow, does the lineup look sweet. All 8 teams from San Francisco proper will be showing up. 4159 Cardinal Robotics, 4669 ESM, 4973 Gator Gears, 5507 Robotic Eagles, 5700 Soda Cyber Dragons, 5924 Cat Machine, who's also hosting the event, 6418 The Misfits, and the newest edition of 7317 Robo Rabbits from Reardon High School. We'll also be seeing 604 Quicksilver from San Jose, Hopper Division winners in 2017, and 971 Spartan Robotics, who were finalists on Carver. Also attending is half of the Houston Championship Alliance, with 973 Greybots coming up from Atascadero, and 5499 the Bay Orangutans crossing the Bay Bridge from Berkeley. From out of state, we'll be seeing teams like 2383 the Ninjineers from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 3880 Tiki Techs from Kailua Kona, Hawaii, as well as 5993 Istech Robotics Society and 6415 Gultep Robotics from Istanbul, Turkey. In addition to local rookie 7317, we'll be seeing 6814 Ellipse from Santa Rosa, 6962 Robot X out of Mountain View, 6981 Clockwork Soldiers from Concord, and 7137 Project 212 Warriors, also from Concord. Chairman's is looking likely for both 604 and 971, though I know 973 and 4159 are hungry for that blue banner as well. Though if hunger is the issue, San Francisco is a wonderful place for food. I highly recommend checking out my personal favorites, Louis and Java Beach, 2 personal favorites of mine, very local to the venue, though anything on the nearby Taravel Street like Copper Kettle, Grubbin, or Eagle Pizza is fantastic as well. So teams, if you're visiting, go check out the food on Taravel Street. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Louis is that place you and I went to, right?
Yeah, Louis was that place that we went to a couple weeks ago.
That was
fantastic,
good.
Fantastic view of the ocean.
God, you Californians and your
cash
food.
only though.
Why don't you guys just go get Jimmy John's or something like the rest of the teams in FRC?
You're going
What's
to
that?
San Francisco. You got to eat nice.
God, jeez. All right, guys. I think that's about all we have time for tonight. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us. If you want more First Robotics in your life and like what we do, all we ask is that you let others know about the show. If you got a few bucks to support the stream, we appreciate it. But if not, we totally understand and are stoked to have you here. On behalf of myself, Andrew, Aiden, and our producer, Tyler, I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and thank you to all our moderators in the chat. Talk to you next Monday on Best of the West.